Yeah, I'm at 196 Jenny Lane in Dayton, Ohio. We're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for mainly any structural issues, but anything that would be concerning to the buyer. The access point is a rear outside clean out, just here next to the condenser for the AC. And I'm not sure where the sewer main is, but if it is out front, this would be, most likely this is converted septic, meaning there used to be an old septic tank in the back. When they ran sewer up the street, they connected on outside and just ran the line around the house to tie in. So, this is cast iron. This is a sweep, so it forces my camera to only go downstream or out away from the house. So we won't be able to inspect the small amount of interior pipe. The bathrooms are right inside the wall, so probably less than 10 feet of pipe. But I always note with cast iron that it's more susceptible to soft clogs just because of how rough it is. If you kind of look as we pull back, because we've already got into clay here, but kind of look at the lines do rust, and so they're a little bit more rough on the inside, so they tend to catch like toilet paper. And I just always recommend not to use any wet wipes because they don't break down like toilet paper. So if they do catch, the lines are a little more susceptible to those soft clogs, those buildups. And so just a little note there to let you know it's just to kind of watch what as long as you flush down what you're supposed to, it won't be an issue. But just a little note to help you out. And so once we get out, it switches over to clay, which is normal for the age of the home. And this is what we see most of with these old clay lines, is we have some root intrusion. It's probably 80 to 90% of the clay lines that I inspect have some form of root intrusion, just due to the nature of the way that they're put together. If you notice, there's only 3-foot sections of pipe, and so there are a lot of seams. And so the way that they would pack these seams when they put the lines together, over the years, they kind of shrink and just give them just enough room for the little finger roots to get in and kind of grow through. And there's nothing that the tree likes more than water and fertilizer all in one place. So this is not real uncommon to see some roots, but this line is most likely, looks like it's going to need a cleaning and maybe some preventative maintenance or some scheduled routine maintenance along the way. Most of the time that consists of you do an initial cleaning, and then they make this stuff called Root X. It's kind of the brand name of stuff, but there's a bunch of different versions of it that you can put down there, and it foams up, catches on the roots, and it kind of burns back the roots to keep them from growing fully in the line. Keeps the line open. Most of the time, that's enough to keep the line open, but you can see we're getting to the point now where there is a flow line open, but that's about it. It wouldn't take much. You can see the toilet paper on the roots. So there are permanent solutions to keep the roots out. There's things like liners, or just plain flat out replacing the line, but those are really expensive, and most people just do maintenance on them. They've been dealing with this for decades and decades of root intrusion and clay lines. So it's something that can be handled with regular maintenance. thick spots, but they're isolated to, if you notice, they are isolated to the spots with the where the seams are. And so they're all small finger roots. You don't see any large like tap roots or anything that look like they have broken the pipe at all. See a little more toilet paper. But that shows you exactly what happens as the tree roots get in. The toilet paper catches on it, it builds up, and then eventually it creates a clog. The good news is the line looks good structurally. Again, it's just going to need some maintenance. This looks pretty thick. See, even that flow line itself looks to be open. It looks to me like the line is going out the back. So let's see how much further. Looks like we're holding water, so it could be due to roots. Yep. So if I can kind of poke a hole in it, I can probably get this water to drain, so we can make sure that it's draining. Go run back and forth, see if we can get this water moving a little bit. Yeah, the reason that water was being held was some root intrusion that is holding back the water. Kind of damming it up. So we should be getting close to the main here. That's it. And there it is. We're all the way to the main. So I'm going to pause the video for a minute, and we're going to try to let that water drain down a little bit where I was able to poke through it, and then we should be able to see that short area where it was holding water. We should be able to see a little bit better when we pull back. Okay, should have been drained down enough. But again, the good news is that structurally the line looks really good. Just needs some cleaning. And so it is going to need, roughly 120 feet there. That's something that the whoever does the cleaning will want to know, that they need to go out all the way to the main, which is roughly 110 to 120 feet away. So let's see. So there's only a couple spots. This is the spot that was actually damming up, I believe. This is about almost 100 foot exactly, 101 feet. It looks like we have got most of the line to drain, which is good. Yeah, I think it was this one. This looks like the hole is about the size of the camera, and that's where all the water's getting through. So I'd say that was the worst part. Now we can see with the water level drop, we can actually see the condition of the surrounding pipe. I'd say the worst parts here, which is to be expected, it goes out the rear, and the closer you get to all the trees back on the fence line, the thicker the roots get on the connections. So seems like once back here about 80 feet now. And those spots are all down in the flow line, and they were obviously beginning to hold water, and so you want to get this taken care of before you take occupancy, and then try to stay on a relatively consistent schedule, maybe once a year with the chemical treatment, and then maybe have another inspection done in 5 years or so, just to kind of see how the condition of the line and the roots, and see how the roots are growing back, or how well the chemical is keeping them back, so you can adjust the maintenance schedule if necessary. Good news is, again, that the line structurally looks good, so if this would be a pretty good candidate for lining, but anymore I think the lining is more expensive than just replacing the line, so it just kind of depends on the situation. But all that does is put basically coats the inside of the pipe so that those roots can't get in at those connections any longer. See, we're coming back out of the clean out here. And so, it looks, the line itself is held shape, and didn't see any major structural issues. Obviously, the line will need to be cleaned thoroughly to remove the existing roots. Usually, if done with like a 4-inch double knife, it should be able to get this nice and clear. I would do that before taking occupancy, and then you could also do a follow-up inspection. Most companies that clean should have, a lot of them offer post-inspection to look at the line. Some of them offer free cammering if you get it cleaned, so that they can inspect the line afterwards. But just to check to see, to make sure that there's no, structural issues, or I should say there's no major cracks or anything behind those spots of roots. But to me, it all looks like the line is fine structurally. It just has those root intrusion they're all coming in at the seams, and they're all smaller roots, and so you'll just need to do some regular maintenance, like I said before, yearly chemical treatments, and then a re-inspection in 5 years or so, just to kind of check the root growth and adjust the maintenance schedule as necessary. But again, I just recommend a cleaning before taking occupancy, and then some regular maintenance from there on out. So that'll end the inspection at 196 Jenny Lane in Dayton, Ohio.